Saint's hands were stained with cobalt blue when his phone rang. Third commission cancellation that month. He stared at the half-finished canvas, a piece he'd poured everything into, and felt the familiar weight of insignificance settle on his shoulders. "Baby, you coming to bed?" Chelsea's voice drifted from the bedroom of their cramped studio apartment. "Soon," he lied, knowing he'd be here until dawn, chasing something he could never quite capture. The gallery opening was supposed to change nothing. Saint had been to dozens, watching other artists bask in attention while he nursed cheap wine in corners, invisible. But Marcus, his best friend since art school, insisted, "You need to network, man. Your work is incredible, but nobody knows you exist." Saint almost didn't go. Almost stayed home with Chelsea and Copper, their golden retriever, watching movies like normal people did on Friday nights. Almost. The Vermilion Gallery occupied a converted warehouse in the Arts District, all exposed brick and strategic lighting. Saint felt underdressed immediately, his paint-stained jacket a beacon of his outsider status among the designer suits and calculated bohemian chic. That's when he saw her. Lisa moved through the crowd like she owned not just the gallery, but the very air people breathed. Late 30s, impossibly elegant in a blood-red dress that probably cost more than Saint's yearly rent. She was speaking with the featured artist when her eyes found his across the room. The connection was immediate, unsettling, like being seen through. "You don't belong here," she said, appearing at his elbow with champagne flutes in hand. Not a question, a statement, that obvious. Saint tried to laugh it off. "I mean, you're better than this." She handed him a glass, her fingers brushing his. "The art on these walls, derivative, safe. But you." She tilted her head, studying him with an intensity that made his skin prickle. "You have something real, something hungry. You haven't seen my work, haven't I?" Before he could process that impossible statement, she pulled out her phone, swiped, and turned the screen toward him. His Instagram portfolio, all 73 followers worth. She'd found him somehow, studied every piece. "The way you use shadow," Lisa murmured, zooming in on his painting consumption. "Most artists are afraid of darkness. You embrace it, invite it in." Saint's heart hammered. "Who are you?" "Lisa Vance. I own this gallery, and 3 others in New York, London, and Tokyo." She drained her champagne. "I want to represent you, Saint. I want to make you unforgettable." I should have run. That first night, when she said my name before I'd introduced myself, when she looked at me like she already owned me, I should have fucking run. But I didn't. Because for the first time in 10 years of struggling, someone saw me. Really saw me. The next morning, Saint woke to Chelsea kissing his forehead, sunlight streaming through their apartment windows. Coppa's tail thumped against the bed frame. "You were talking in your sleep," Chelsea said softly. "Something about red. Just a dream." But his hands were shaking as he made coffee, Lisa's card burning in his pocket. He waited 3 days to call. Tried to focus on Chelsea, on the quiet life they'd built. But the canvases in his studio felt like tombstones marking his insignificance. Every scroll through social media showed another former classmate's success, another gallery opening he wasn't invited to. On the 3rd night, Chelsea found him staring at Lisa's card. "Who's that?" "Gallery owner. She wants to represent me." Chelsea's face lit up, genuine joy. The way she used to look at him before the rejections and disappointments calcified into routine. "Saint, that's amazing. Why didn't you tell me?" "I don't know. Seems too good to be true," he said. "Maybe it's just good." She wrapped her arms around him from behind. "You deserve this, baby. You've worked so hard." He called Lisa the next morning. The contract was simple. Lisa would fund his work, provide studio space, handle all sales and exhibitions. In return, she took 40%, standard for the industry. But there was a clause near the end, almost buried in legalese. The artist agrees to fulfill creative direction as specified by the representative. What does this mean? Saint pointed to the line. Lisa smiled. Just means I might suggest themes, directions. You're the artist, Saint. I'm not going to tell you what to paint. I'm just going to help you find what's already inside you. He signed. The new studio was in Lisa's building, A converted church with vaulted ceilings and north-facing windows that bathed everything in perfect light. His own space, climate-controlled, with more square footage than his entire apartment. "Create," Lisa said simply. "I'll handle the rest." And he did. Saints painted like a man possessed, 12-hour days bleeding into 16. The work poured out of him, darker than before, more visceral. Figures emerging from shadow, faces twisted in ecstasy or agony. He couldn't tell which. Landscapes that seemed to breathe. Chelsea noticed a change. "These are intense." "Is that bad?" "No, just different. You seem different." He was different. For the first time, galleries were returning his calls. Lisa had arranged a solo exhibition at Vermilion in 6 weeks. 6 weeks to create enough pieces for a full show. He barely slept. Copper started acting strange around the 3rd week. The dog who normally followed Saint everywhere would stop at the studio threshold, whining, refusing to enter. "What's wrong with him?" Chelsea asked, concerned. "Maybe he doesn't like the smell of the new paints." But Saint knew it was something else. Sometimes, late at night, when he was alone in the studio, he felt it too. A presence just beyond his peripheral vision. A weight in the air, like invisible eyes watching his every brushstroke. The paintings seemed to know things they shouldn't. He'd wake at 3 a.m. with images fully formed in his mind. A woman drowning in red silk. A man with his mouth sewn shut. Children dancing in a circle around something he couldn't quite see. He'd stumble to the canvas and paint until dawn, and only later realize he had no memory of most of the night. "You're working too hard," Chelsea said one morning, finding him asleep on the studio floor, dried paint in his hair. "The show's in 3 weeks. And you'll be dead before it opens at this rate." She knelt beside him. "Saint, when's the last time we had dinner together? When's the last time we just talked?" He couldn't remember. "I'm worried about you. And I barely see you anymore. It's like you're being consumed by this." Consumption. The title of the painting that caught Lisa's attention. The painting of a man disappearing into his own shadow, piece by piece, until nothing remained but a smile. "After the show," he promised. "After the show, things will be different." Chelsea's eyes were sad. "That's what you said about the last opportunity. And the one before that." But she let him return to work. She always did. Lisa's circles were exclusive. Private viewings in penthouse apartments where the walls were lined with art Saint recognized from museums. Parties that stretched until dawn, where beautiful people spoke in hushed tones about things he didn't quite understand. She introduced him to collectors, critics, influencers. His Instagram followers climbed from 73 to 7,000 in 2 weeks. Articles started appearing. The dark vision of Saint, an artist emerging from obscurity. He should have been happy, but there was always something slightly off about Lisa's gatherings. The way conversations would stop when he approached. The symbols he started noticing, carved into door frames, embroidered on napkins, painted subtly into the art on walls. Always the same. A circle bisected by 3 lines, like an eye weeping. "What does that mean?" he asked Lisa one night, pointing to the symbol on her wine glass. "Old family crest," she said smoothly. "My ancestors were eccentric." Marcus came to visit the studio, bringing pizza and the easy friendship Saint had been neglecting. "Dude, this is insane." Marcus examined the new work, impressed and slightly unsettled. "But are you okay? You look like you haven't slept in days." "I'm fine. Better than fine. Lisa says the show's going to. Lisa this, Lisa that. Man, I barely recognize you anymore." Marcus set down his beer. "Chelsea called me. She's worried. Said you haven't been home in 3 days." Guilt stabbed through Saint's chest. "I've been on a deadline." "For what?" "Success at any cost." Marcus softened. "Look, I'm happy for you. Really. But don't lose yourself in this. Don't lose her." That night, Saint went home. Found Chelsea curled up on the couch, Kappa's head in her lap. She'd been crying. "I'm sorry," he said, and meant it. They made love like they used to, tender and familiar. Afterward, she traced the new tattoo he didn't remember getting, small, behind his left ear. The symbol. The eye. When did you get this? His blood went cold. I don't know. You don't know when you got a tattoo. But he genuinely didn't. Couldn't remember deciding on it. Visiting a shop, the pain of the needle. It was simply there, like it had always been there. Chelsea pulled away. Saint, what's happening to you? Nothing. I'm fine. You're not fine. You're barely here even when you're home. And now you have a tattoo you don't remember getting. Her voice cracked. I feel like I'm losing you to something I can't fight. After the show. Stop saying that. She stood, shaking. There's always going to be another show, another opportunity, another reason to put us second. When does it end? When I matter, he said quietly. When I'm not just another failed artist. The hurt in her eyes would haunt him, but he returned to the studio at dawn. Copper died on a Tuesday. Chelsea found him in the morning, lying peacefully in his bed like he was sleeping. No signs of trauma, no explanation. The vet called it sudden cardiac failure, rare in a young, healthy dog, but not impossible. Saint held Chelsea while she sobbed, felt her grief like a physical weight. But part of him, a part that was growing larger, darker, was already thinking about the painting the tragedy inspired, the loyalty of a dog, the permanence of loss. The colors would be muted gray, and that specific shade of gold coppice for caught in sunlight. He hated himself for thinking it, but he couldn't stop. At the funeral, a small ceremony in their apartment, just the two of them and Marcus. Saint's phone buzzed. Lisa, tragedy makes the best art. Channel it. How did she know? The exhibition was in 1 week. Saint had 16 pieces finished. Lisa said he needed 22. He painted through the grief, through Chelsea's quiet devastation, through the gnawing feeling that something was deeply, fundamentally wrong. The paintings were the best work of his life, and the darkest. Figures consumed by their own ambitions, lovers separated by invisible walls, a golden dog dissolving into smoke. Chelsea appeared in several, though he didn't consciously choose to paint her, her face emerging from shadows, always watching him with sad, knowing eyes. Marcus came by the studio 3 days before the opening. Saint was working on the final piece, hadn't noticed his friend enter. Saint, we need to talk. Kind of busy, man. I know about Lisa. Something in Marcus's voice made Saint turn. His friend looked scared. What about her? Marcus pulled out his phone, showed him articles, forum posts, archived news stories. Her last protege, guy named Carmichael, had a solo show 2 years ago. Huge success, overnight sensation. 3 months later, he was found dead in his studio. They ruled it suicide. Saint's hand stilled on the canvas. That's terrible, but what does? Before him, there was Yuki Tanaka. Same story. Gallery success. Then dead 6 months later. Before her, David Morse. Before him, Marcus grabbed Saint's shoulders. There are 8 of them. 8 artists Lisa discovered. All of them had breakthrough shows. All of them dead within a year. That's coincidence. Artists are fucked up people. High suicide rates. They all had the same tattoo. Marcus turned Saint's head, revealing the mark behind his ear. That symbol. And the few friends and family who spoke to reporters said the same thing. They changed, become obsessed, pulled away from everyone they loved, said they felt watched. Saint wanted to dismiss it, wanted to call Marcus paranoid, conspiracy-minded, but he thought of the gaps in his memory. The tattoo he didn't remember getting, Kappa's death, the presence he felt in the studio at night, the way Lisa always seemed to know things she shouldn't. You need to get away from her, Marcus said. Cancel the show. Walk away before. Before what? Before I'm finally successful? Before my work means something. Saint pulled free. I've spent 10 years being nobody. Lisa gave me a chance when everyone else ignored me. I'm not throwing that away because of some conspiracy theory. It's not a theory. It's a pattern. And you're next. Get out. Saint, get out. Marcus left. Saint told himself his friend was jealous, threatened by his success. Told himself the coincidences were just that, coincidences. Told himself a lot of things that night. He should have listened. I think I knew even then. Some part of me understood what was happening, but I tasted recognition, seen my name in print, felt the rush of matching, and I was so fucking hungry for it that I convinced myself any price was worth paying. I was wrong. The gallery opening was transcendent. Over 300 people crammed into the Vermilion Gallery, champagne flowing, cameras flashing. Saint's paintings lined the walls, each one a window into something raw and terrible and beautiful. Critics used words like visionary and unflinching. By the end of the night, 18 of the 22 pieces had sold. Lisa found him during a rare quiet moment, her smile sharp and satisfied. You did it, Saint. You're exactly what I knew you'd be. Thank you. For everything. For believing in me. Oh, I didn't believe in you, darling. She touched the tattoo behind his ear, her finger ice cold. I created you. There's a difference. Something in her voice sent spiders crawling up his spine. What do you mean? Come, there's someone I want you to meet. She led him through a door marked private, down a hallway that seemed too long for the building's dimensions. The sounds of the party faded until silence pressed against his ears like water. They descended stairs into a basement that couldn't exist. The walls were older than the building, stone instead of brick, carved with symbols Saint now recognized. The eye, the weeping eye, hundreds of them, thousands, watching him descend. The room at the bottom was a gallery of its own. But the paintings here weren't on canvas. They were harder to define. Surfaces that might have been skin, images that seemed to move when he wasn't looking directly at them. And the subjects, Saint recognized them from Marcus's research. 8 faces, 8 artists, each one captured in a moment of pure existential horror. My collection, Lisa said proudly. My real collection. What the fuck is this? Saint's voice came out strangled. The price of fame, darling. The cost of magic. She ran her fingers along one of the portraits. The woman Saint recognized as Yuki Tanaka. Every artist wants to leave their mark on the world. To be remembered. Immortal. I simply take that desire literally. Saint backed toward the stairs. You're insane. I'm ancient. Her eyes were black now, completely black. I've been collecting artists for 3 centuries. The desperate ones, the hungry ones, the ones willing to do anything to be seen. You paint your souls onto canvas, making yourselves so beautifully vulnerable. And I preserve that moment forever. The tattoo, a mark, a contract, if you will, signed in ink and intention. She moved closer, and Saint realized she wasn't walking so much as gliding. You felt at the moment I saw you at that first gallery. Recognition, not of your talent, but of your hunger. Your willingness to sacrifice anything. Your time, your health, your relationship, for recognition. Saint thought of Chelsea, home alone, grieving. Of Marcus, warning him. Of Copper, you killed my dog. I did no such thing, but I may have encouraged his departure. To fuel your art, tragedy does make the best work, after all. She smiled, and her teeth were too sharp, too many. Each sacrifice brings you closer to your masterpiece, the work that will cement your legacy. I won't do it. Whatever you want, I won't. You already have, Saint. You've been painting it for weeks. Your final piece. She gestured to a canvas covered in cloth. Would you like to see? His feet moved against his will. The cloth fell away. The painting was of him, but not quite him. Something wearing his face, his body, but hollowed out, puppet by invisible strings made of shadow and ambition. And behind him, a massive figure with Lisa's smile and eyes like black holes, reaching through him, feeding on something essential and irreplaceable. Beautiful, isn't it? Your soul on canvas. Once it's complete, once you add the final brushstroke, the transfer is permanent. You join my collection, and I move on to the next hungry artist. What if I refuse? What if I destroy it? Lisa's laugh was crystalline and cruel. Then everyone you love dies. Simple as that. The mark binds you to me. Fight, and I'll take Chelsea next. Then Marcus. Then your mother, your sister, everyone you've ever cared about. They'll all meet unfortunate accidents until you have nothing left but your art and me. You're a fucking monster. I'm a patron. She tilted her head. You're running out of time. The painting demands completion. You feel it, don't you? The obsession, the need. It's already started. She was right. Even now, looking at the unfinished painting, Saint's fingers itched for a brush. Part of his mind was already mixing colors, planning the final details. The compulsion was overwhelming, drowning out everything else. You have 1 week, Lisa said. Finish the painting, join the masters, or refuse. Watch everyone you love die, while the painting slowly drives you mad with the need to complete it. Either way, I win. She left him in the gallery of horrors, alone with the screaming faces of artists who'd made his choice before him.